We play and call it work.
Hey folks, Janene from MiniWarGaming here with another how-to video for ya. In today's video, we're going to continue painting on this Imperial Warhound Titan by painting all of the control panels on the guns and inside the cockpit. As always, if you have suggestions for what you'd like to see in future how-to videos, go ahead and leave them down below in the comments. I'm going to show you guys how to do this on this Vulcan Mega Bolter, but the same process will be done on anywhere where there's cords or buttons or any kind of control panel on the Titan. The first step is going to be to use Drakenhof Nightshade to color in a few of these recessed areas that are going to end up being lenses or screens. So we're going to take the paint, we're going to paint it straight out of the pot, and we're going to apply it to a few of these areas to act as a shadow. Next, we're going to use Abaddon Black. We're going to apply this as an all-over layer to the cords. So we're going to put some of the paint on our palette, mix in a little bit of Lamy and Medium to make sure we got a nice flow, and we're just going to paint this over the entirety of any kind of electrical wires or anything like that. Once we have the cords painted, we're also going to apply this black to any of the buttons. We're also going to paint this square up here, which is going to be a computer screen later. Once the black is out of the way, we're going to start to add color and differentiation to these different elements. We're going to begin with Thunderhawk Blue. Again, I'm just going to put a little dab of this on my palette and mix it with some Lamy and Medium. I'm going to apply this Thunderhawk Blue to these buttons. I'm not getting every button, I just want to get these two rows that look like they may be a keyboard. I want to make sure that I get this all over the entire fronts of the buttons while still leaving a little bit of that black on the sides and the recesses. This will ensure that you can differentiate each button very quickly no matter how far away you are from the model. Next, we're going to use Dawnstone as a highlight. I'm also going to mix this color with some Lamy and Medium, and I really just want to take my detail brush and dab it into the very center of each of these squares. Next, we're going to use Celestra Gray as a final highlight. We're going to be applying this as a line highlight to the very top and the right hand side of each of these buttons. This paint was also mixed with Lamy and Medium, and all of the rest of the colors in this how-to video are going to be mixed with Lamy and Medium, so you can just assume that, even if I don't show it. Our next color is going to be Doombull Brown. We're going to be painting one of these electrical cords red, and we're using this as our base over the black. So we're putting just a little bit of Doombull over the top as kind of an all-over layer. And then we're going to be highlighting the Doombull with Mephiston Red. I don't want this to be a heavy highlight, I just want to add a little bit of brightness, specifically to the area where the cord curves down. I'm also going to use the Mephiston Red to grab one of these buttons so I can make it a bright red later. Our next color is going to be Cabalite Green. We're going to also paint this on one of our electrical cords. I want these cords to all be different colors because that will make them stand out more, but I don't want them to be too bright, so I'm using the very dark shades of each of these colors. That will add some differentiation to this control panel without being too busy and too visually jarring. We're going to highlight the green with a little bit of Warpstone Glow. Again, I just want to catch a few areas, specifically where the cord kind of turns. And on this top cord, I'm going to be concentrating my highlight closer to the right hand side of the wire. Next, we're going to use Sotek Green to highlight some of the screens. On these areas where we applied the Drakenhof Nightshade, I just want to put this Sotek Green into the very middle, making sure that I leave some of that dark indigo color on the edges. On the screen at the top, I want to apply this almost as an all-over layer, but I do want to leave just a little line of black on the very outer edge. We're going to highlight these with Temple Guard Blue. I'm going to take the color and paint it about 3/4 of the way down the screen. Then I'm going to wipe my brush off quickly and blend that transition while the paint's still wet. Next, I'm going to take a little bit more paint. I'm going to add another layer at the very top, going only about a quarter of the way down, and that's going to kind of create a quick gradient for me. I'm going to add a final highlight by taking some Ceramite White and mixing it with my Temple Guard Blue. This is going to be about a 50-50 mixture, and I'm going to apply it as an edge highlight to the very top of this screen as well as the left-hand side. Our next color is going to be Evil Sun Scarlet, and we're going to use this as a red highlight. I'm not using a lot of this paint, I just want to make sure that I catch the little red button that I've got on this keyboard. You'll also notice that I painted the button next to it green while I was painting the chords. Our next color is going to be the Fang. This is going to be what we use to highlight the black. So there's one final button on this keyboard that we're going to keep black, and then there's also that last chord as well. Now that we've painted all of the pieces of this control panel, I want to break up the silver, and I'm going to be using a series of washes. Those are going to be Carroburg Crimson, Fugan Orange, and Seraphim Sepia. We're going to be applying all of these to the model straight out of the pot, and we're going to kind of blend them together. I want to create an effect as if these pistons are a little bit oily. I'm starting off with the Carroburg Crimson, and then I'm just kind of dabbing the Seraphim Sepia into it, and in the areas where I feel like it needs a little bit more of a bright color, I'm putting in the Fugan Orange. I don't want to put this everywhere on the silver, but this is going to break things up a little bit. And I think blending the three colors together really makes a very natural oily look. A little bit brown, but also a little bit of color to add iridescence. Also, just for fun, I'm going to catch a few of these areas near the bolts, and anywhere where I feel like the silver needs to be broken up a little bit and needs a little bit more color. Here you can see the control panel now that the silver's been broken up. Our last step is going to be to take some pure Ceramite White and to add a little bit of a cross hatching on this screen. I want to make sure that I have a paint that flows very nicely, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little square in the very center of the screen. Then I'm going to paint a thin line on the top, bottom, left, and right from the square that I just painted to the edge of the screen. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the Sotek green that I still have on my palette and clean up the lines. And there's the control panel entirely done. Again, I'm going to replicate this same process on anywhere else that has buttons or screens or anything like that. There's an area right here, for example, that has some buttons that I'll paint. All of the weapons have a few, and then of course inside the cockpit. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more how-to videos, I have another one where I go through painting script on the leg plate of this Warhound Titan in the MiniWarGaming vault, and the link down below in the description. If you don't already have a vault membership, go ahead and click the link. You can get signed up for a 7-day free trial and get access to my tutorial as well as hundreds of other videos in the MiniWarGaming vault. So go ahead, click the link, start your free trial, and happy wargaming.